What a treat today. Stevie, Craig and Shaka all on Extra Time to answer your tweets. The first one is from friend of the show, Jan Aage Fjortoft. Shaka, can you play for United on Wednesday?
Oh, man. I was tempted to dust my gloves off, I'm not going to lie.
How can De Gea be that bad?
And you're sitting, I don't know. Every now and then, he makes these glaring errors where, listen, even the best of keepers make 1 or 2 a season, but he's up there in the 5 or 6 a season region now, and that's simply not good enough. Despite how good otherwise you may be, and I'm not saying that he's been back to his brilliant best by any stretch of the imagination, you can't be making that number of just very simple, basic mistakes. It's costing United very dearly.
How do you react as a player in the dressing room afterwards with your goalkeeper, Craig, after he's done that?
Nothing.
Nothing?
You can't.
I suppose you made a big mistake in the FA Cup semi-final as well. Like, how did they react to you? Is it just kind of part of the game?
Part of the game will be me driving, like last week when I was threatening Seb Salazar, I will get in my car today, drive to Bristol and throttle you for your smart aleck comment.
I feel like it was a relevant comment. FA Cup semi-final mistake just seemed to go hand in hand.
Well, nobody's going to have a go at you for making a mistake. Right. So, because mistakes happen. And as I remind you many times, Daniel, as a wise man said, the man that never makes a mistake never makes anything.
Yes, very true. I made a mistake yesterday, and that is the tweet that is about to be read out. Since Dan was wrong about Manchester United and Chelsea starting their strongest squads in the FA Cup semi-final, the boys should let the abuse fly. Dan was pretty adamant yesterday that both teams would have had their strongest squads. Well, it was Don who brought it up, and I didn't understand why they would rest players. And then Don WhatsApped me, by the way, today going, I told you so. Teams normally do this in the FA Cup, as if I've never seen an FA Cup game in my life.
Don asked to come on so that we could all pat him on the back?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
or is he too busy massaging Frank Lampard?
Yes.
Dan, hold on a second. You're making this out as if you said to Don, oh, Don, really? Do you think that's going to happen? That's not what you did. You went, what are you talking about? Giving your old smarty pants voice and sniggery face and all that, giving it, we don't talk a lot of nonsense. So don't try and kid us on or everybody else that it was one of those. Oh, I don't understand that. You were trying to be clever and you got caught out.
But I was right in the wrong way. He should have played his strongest squad, then they would have had a better chance of winning.
If that's what you want to take away from
this,
Dan, go ahead.
Well, apparently a wise
I was right in the wrong way.
A wise man.
Well, Chelsea played the strongest
wrong
team,
is right, but 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah, Chelsea went strong, didn't they? Pulisic was an injury, so there you are.
Yeah, Chelsea went strong, United didn't, and they lost. So Don was only half right.
Maguire, worst 80 million signing.
And Dan was only half wrong.
Maguire, worst 80 million signing of all time.
Do you know, somebody sent us, this is what you get on Twitter, right? Last week, when Virgil van Dijk, I was telling Stevie this, last week when Virgil van Dijk made that error again, and even if you say it was an error, there was an argument to say the Arsenal player had pulled his arm back for a free kick, but even if you say no, let's call it an error by Virgil van Dijk. Somebody tweeted me with stats from Harry Maguire and Virgil van Dijk and compared them, and I nearly lost the will to live.
Yes.
I nearly lost the will to live, because if these people believe that, these people believe some of these nonsense stats that are relevant to the player, then what chance have we got trying to explain to them? Really?
Shaka, do you remember any performance you have had as bad as De Gea today?
I've had many performances as bad as De Gea.
This is one of
very
Shaka's
hard
better
in forgetting them. Thank you very much. Yeah, listen.
Not a big game, Shaq. Not in a big game, though.
Yeah. No, not in a game of that magnitude. Certainly not. No.
Shaq, have you ever made any mistakes in a game of this magnitude?
Shaq, when the ball used to get in the net, did you used to turn and go, "Oh, good Lord"?
I just used to sit there.
I hope you do it, all your comrades. Hey, all your comrades, Shaq, they all do the same thing. They turn round, they pick out somebody and then start start shouting at them and pointing the finger at
Just
them. Try and
start
take the blame
abusing
away from
somebody.
you.
That's right. That's right. You just start abusing the
you know
right back
what?
or something,
Actually-
just randomly.
Do you know, while I'm on about goalies, Shaka, you know what I hate? I love the classic people like a Ray Clemens or a
Relevant.
Schultz who will make a
More
save.
relevant.
They'll get up, cool and calm, and then that's it. And then you got all these people that look at Pickford. He's the worst ever. He makes a save, and he hasn't even got himself off the ground. But he's screaming at somebody and trying to give it one of these and you and do this and do that. It gets right up my waz, that. So it does.
Dan.
Yeah.
Dan. Any chance we can cut his connection?
Right. Does Craig still think Mourinho is finished? The game has passed him by, was his words a few weeks ago.
Didn't say that.
This person's put
said-
quote marks. You must have said it.
Sorry?
This person's quoted you, so you must have said it. You must be
Well,
right.
just because he's put quote marks on doesn't mean I said it. I says the game may have passed him by.
I forgot
I didn't
May.
I didn't say the game has passed him by. I said the way his teams are playing, maybe the game has passed him by. The way his team's playing.
What do you got?
I would hasten to add, getting the odd result here and there and beating a half Leicester team at home is proof that Tottenham Hotspur and Jose Mourinho are back. I hardly think so.
Stevie, what do you make of Watford sacking Nigel Pearson 2 games before the end of the season one and while in a relegation battle?
Well, I think you've got to look at the way they do business, Watford, as far as the managers. And as soon as they've lost any confidence in them, you just get rid of them. And I'm sure the thinking is, well, you know what? Nothing's changing. You know, there was an initial bounce where they won games, but ever since then, it just seems to have been downhill pretty much. And so with 2 games to go, I think they're just maybe trying to manufacture another jump for the players to actually step up and win some games. Unfortunately, they got City coming next. So I fail to see how that's going to change anything. But then, of course, they could beat Arsenal in the last game of the season. So there's no question they probably decided that they were not keeping him next year, regardless. And so they're probably thinking, let's try and get somebody in and see if they can give us a new face bounce. So it was goodbye for him.
What do you think,
Well,
Craig?
bearing
New
in
face
mind,
bounce?
they just won the 2 games before the West Ham game. Tells you all you need to know about the way this football club is run. And Stevie's right, though. That's how they make decisions. That's how they do their business, and that's their choice. But you bring the guy in, you know he's capable of doing the job, and you have a really bad night at the office, off the back of picking up 6 points, 2 straight wins, and then you just sort of throw the baby out with the bathwater. I think it's harsh on Nigel Pearson, I really do, but unsurprising in the way that they do business. If they just lost the last 3 games and they were still in the hunt to stay up, I could understand that, but they hadn't. They'd had 1 really bad night at West Ham off the back of 2 wins. That's harsh.
Final question, Stevie. As a coach, did you ever wish you could bring on yourself into a game to change things?
Well, if I'd been 20 years younger and I'd been managing then, yes. But
Sheffield
other than
Wednesday,
that,
you were a coach
no.
at Wednesday, weren't you, Stevie? You could have brought yourself on then.
I was a coach at Notts County.
There you go.
Yeah,
And I actually did play.
was not
I was a
Wednesday.
player manager. I was actually the player manager.
Oh, perfect.
I was a player manager. So I didn't bring myself on. I actually started myself.
And then did you bring yourself off often?
I actually did. I took myself off once against. It was against Luton away, and I came off and I sat down and one of the coaches who were already there turned to me and said, "What did you bring yourself off for?" He said, "You were our best player." I was like, "What?" Too late.
Hey, Dan, here's a scenario. He selected himself as the manager for Notts County for the game, and he had a beer the night before a game,
Hey.
and he dropped himself for having a beer the night before a
Was
game.
it?
Hey, by the way,
Can you imagine that scenario?
did you hear Did I ever tell you the story with Tommy Smith and John
Cut his
Toshak?
line. Cut
No.
it.
When, right, John Toshak's the manager,
Right.
and Tommy Smith, the legendary Tommy Smith of Liverpool, is playing for John Toshak at Swansea. And so with 20 minutes to go in a game, the board goes up, and Toshak's got Smithy's number. So Smithy's not happy. So Smithy's going off, and he notices that it's Toshak that's coming on for him. So Smithy goes off, and on the way off, Toshak goes, "Hey Tommy, you're in charge. Whatever you think, just do it." Tommy's like, "Ah, yeah, don't worry about that." Anyway, there was about 3 minutes left in the game, and the board goes up, and it's Toshak's number. Tommy's like, "Ah, get yourself out." Brilliant.
Oh, nice one, Stevie. Good stuff.
And he came off. Hey, he actually came off.
That is it. That brings to the end of today's show. Thank you very much, guys. We'll be back tomorrow for more. Until then, goodbye. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.